Tet McMillan was a big-bodied, contested catch monster at Arizona. But are there separation concerns? Does he have the speed? Let's throw on the All-22 and find out whether he should be an option for the New York Jets. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's Luke here from Play Like a Jet, and we're back in the film room with another All-22 breakdown. And today we're going to evaluate wide receiver Tet McMillan. He is a tricky prospect. Like Tyler Warren in yesterday's video, he is a guy who I like a ton of things about. There are things that jump off the film. But when you're drafting a player at number 7 overall, you're looking for an elite talent, a blue chipper, and a game breaker. Is Tet McMillan that caliber of player? We're going to find out together. Let's start with the best aspect of his game by far, and that's contested catches in the intermediate part of the field. He had 18 of them in 2024. He was a beast. So, first play here, he is the left-hand side of your screen and the left-hand side of Arizona's formation. Watch McMillan running this dig, the in-breaking route, and how supple he is, plucking that ball above his head, outside of his frame. He is a natural. His catch radius is enormous. Look at this. Just the way he manipulates his body, adjusts at the catch point, and plucks it out of the air. He knows a hit's coming. Doesn't matter, still makes the catch. Really like that from Tet McMillan. I actually thought overall he ran digs pretty well. He has that big body. He can protect the space to the inside. Look, he's great at contested catches. Now, part of that is because he doesn't separate a ton. We'll get to that later. But you have to be impressed with his hands in these kind of trafficky situations. More of the same from McMillan here, this time against Colorado and against zone coverage. You're going to see him coming from the slot, which I think he will do a fair share in the NFL. He's a big body, but I think he can handle himself inside. He's going to go towards the center against cover 2, split the safeties, but look at the body control. The ability to adapt to the football in the air and once again, just go above the rim and get this football at full stretch, and it looks so natural, so easy, and almost second nature to Tet McMillan. He is so good in this part of the field. I would say 12 to 25 yards. He just eats. He feasts with these kind of catches. He's an excellent receiver outside of his frame, and it really jumped off the screen in this game because you're going to see from the same game in the red zone, one-on-one, we're going to get that little fade. He's at the bottom of your screen. Look how McMillan goes. The stutter step, outside release. Just pluck it with one hand if you don't mind. Talk about big mitts, the ability to make contested catches. That's what you get from Tet McMillan. On top of that, of course, in the red zone, he's going to be so difficult to stop. This is the best part of his game, but it's a blessing and a curse. And finally, a couple of examples that accentuate McMillan's hands on outbreaking routes. I'm going to fly through them quickly, but from the bottom of your screen, running this out against off coverage, look how easily he plucks the football above his head, outside his frame. It is a strength of his game, and he's able to run through the catch point. He doesn't need to slow down to corral the football. I do like that about his hands and length. And again, from the bottom of your screen, this time in the red zone, just more of the same from McMillan. Just easy. This time gets the yards after catch for a touchdown. I like the hip sink here, which we're going to get to in later. Look how he just drops those hips, pirouettes, and gets into the end zone. But it's just the range, the reach, the catch radius. It's all there for contested catches for Tet McMillan. But what you will have seen in most of those clips is that if you're making contested catches, you're not getting a ton of separation. That is definitely a concern for McMillan. And him running a 4.55 at his pro day or his private workout has done nothing to quiet that down. Daniel Jeremiah has him dropping down into the 20s in his mock. Here are a couple of good examples of McMillan getting separation. You're going to see a bunch top of your screen. McMillan one-on-one against man coverage, skips to the inside, really nice little dead leg at the stem, and he gets the first down on the slant. He has enough craftiness at the line of scrimmage to get things done against man coverage, but he doesn't have speed or twitch necessarily. He has to win with this kind of stuff. Look at the long, dead leg to the outside, stab it in the ground, cross the face of the DB. He's crafty, he's just not particularly explosive. And I mentioned this a bit earlier, I really like Tet running in breaking routes, so quite often a dig. He's a great example of that. I just think he protects the space so well to the inside. He's at the top of your screen. Look how he's going to challenge his man coverage defender vertically down the field, threaten his outside leverage, and then break to the inside. He just leans on him at the top of the route and then bang, puts that right foot in the ground and gets that separation. That's what he does well. He has the body control and the body strength to almost box out on those in-breaking routes. It's something I really liked about his tape. But in saying that, these examples of pure separation are few and far between. And that's the reason for the contested catches, and that's the reason for some of the concern around Tet McMillan. Now, moving on to one of the biggest negatives, which you probably wouldn't expect coming into this review, is Tet McMillan running vertically on go routes or anything of that kind of nature struggled to make some catches for me. I thought he lacked some competitiveness at the catch point, and that's a concern. When you're seeing Drake London comps or Mike Evans, you expect that kind of go get the football like we saw in the first part of this video, deep down the field. Just wasn't there for me. Here's an example from the slot. You're going to see McMillan actually gets pretty good separation for a change, which he struggles with running these deep routes, but he just doesn't come down with the football. I think there's a lack of urgency at the catch point far too often, and plays that made me go, you need to get this football. Your game is predicated around making contested catches. You need to get it done in this area. To be honest, McMillan let me down. I just thought he struggled. Now, as I mentioned, you actually see him separate pretty well here because it's from the slot. He won much more from the inside than he did to the boundary, and it's because it's often much more difficult to play press coverage in the slot. This time, McMillan's at the top of your screen. You're going to see that, press to the boundary. He wins to the outside with a nice little double move. Again, nuance. He's got quite good route running ability, just not a lot of twitch. Gets enough separation, goes up to high point, but that football hits the ground. We need to catch this. This is what you'd be paying him the big bucks to do. It's why you're drafting him at number 7. Daniel Jeremiah came out and said that he hadn't had a 6'3" receiver who ran a 4.5 or slower go in the top 10 since Drake London, and before that, Mike Evans. It is rare to get that kind of athlete or lack thereof drafted that high. He's got to be making these plays for me. And to finish the video, I want to show a couple of positive things. First of all, his route running on double moves, like we just saw, can be quite impressive. Look at the top of your screen. He wins here with this beautiful little out and up, goes around the corner, and it's a touchdown. He's got enough speed to be an NFL receiver. It's just whether he can be that true dominant number 1. Can he be AJ Brown? Can he be AJ Green? I don't know. But he definitely has the hands. He has some savvy and nuance to his route running. There just isn't a lot of speed, and that's always concerning when you look at all the guys that have busted, whether it be a guy like Hakeem Butler or Laquan Treadwell. You just often see this body type, and that's the biggest concern around Tet McMillan. We're going to now focus on his hips though to finish the video. I think for a big guy, he's got really nice sync and movement skills in and out of break. I've circled McMillan here for you. Look how he stops this route in the blind spot, gets back upfield quickly for yards after the catch. I like this. Against cover 3, you often saw him kind of shut down those routes, get some separation. He can stop on a dime. Again, in this clip right here, have a look how he gets the ball, but the yards after contact ability isn't because of straight out agility. It's because of the hips. Look at him break this down, reroute, flip them, and then get straight away north-south. I like that. Again, this guy's 6'4" and 210 pounds. He's a big athlete, but he has some movement skills. He has some sync, and that's what's going to allow him to be successful in that intermediate part of the field. So guys, that's what the tape told me about Arizona wide receiver Tet McMillan. Do I like aspects of his game? Yeah, I do. I think he's a nice prospect. The contested catches, the catch radius, some of the nuance with his route running, it's impressive. But there are large concerns for a guy you want to take top 10. The separation, some of the speed issues with the 4.55 at the pro day. And then on top of that, I just don't think he's competitive enough down the field. He doesn't get separation in that big body Mike Evans way on go routes. That's going to be a detriment to his profile and what he projects to be in the NFL. So again, it's a theme. Do I like Tet McMillan? Yes, I do. Do I want him at 7? Not for the New York Jets.